Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Arrow Season 7. And this is going to be my trailer breakdown for episode 17 for this season, otherwise entitled Inheritance. But of course, before we get into anything else, let's actually watch that trailer.
Emiko has been hiding certain parts of her past.
And all we really know is what she's told us.
Your sister is not the hero that you think she is.
So last episode was obviously the big all flash forward episode, Star City 2040, where the only really thing that's going to be relevant, I guess, in this episode, because I'm not too sure if we're going to get flash forwards next episode, because I think this is actually going to be possibly a flashback episode, which we'll talk about in a second. But I guess the only thing really relevant from last episode was right at the end, when we flash back to present day, and Felicity, completely launches the Archer program, or like an early version of it where there's an operating system talking back to her, sort of like AI things. So we might see some development with that, but we might not. They might save that for a future episode, but we'll have to wait and see. But before we get into the actual breakdown of the trailer, we will quickly go over the synopsis or description, as it does actually give us much more than the trailer does. The trailer is pretty basic, but still contains a decent amount as well. But the synopsis, it definitely gives us more information. But obviously, let me know in the comment section down below the one thing you're looking forward to most in this episode, or maybe two or three if you're looking forward to a few, but mainly the thing you're looking forward to the most. Laurel learns about some damaging information that affects Emiko. Always looking to protect his sister, Oliver invites Laurel to help investigate, which makes Felicity happy as her friend is now working with the team. However, when things go awry, Felicity is forced to make a choice between the team and Laurel. So yeah, as the synopsis does suggest, but the trailer doesn't really at all apart from a line at the end, this will be a fairly big episode for Laurel, I guess, from some positive stuff and some negative stuff as well. And it will not stop there either, like not just in this episode, as that will continue on into the next episode, which is the Lost Canary episode, which will feature Sarah Lance returning to Arrow for a full episode, which should be pretty cool. So it will be interesting to see whether we get any setup or hints as to that episode, or whether that will just happen all in the episode it's relevant in. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. But it wouldn't be nice if maybe at the end she gets a phone call from Sarah. I don't know, something like that. But as we know from, I think it was the end of episode 15, so 2 episodes ago, Laurel is onto Emiko. She knows what is up and is on the verge of hashtag exposing and revealing all to her half-brother Oliver. But Emiko, she ain't scared, because she knows she has played herself into a pretty good position around Oliver, where he is most likely going to believe her over Laurel. And Emiko sort of knows what's going on with Laurel and why Oliver wouldn't trust her. And people were wondering why that is, like why would Emiko know this information? It is important to remember that Laurel was with Black Siren was with Diaz, and Emiko is, associated with Dante, and Diaz was associated with Dante. So I'm guessing the information just flooded to Emiko from Dante through Diaz. I'm guessing that's how it worked. I know a lot of people were questioning that, but I'm pretty sure that's the reasoning behind it, and that might be revealed in this episode. And in regards to Oliver trusting Emiko, it isn't really, too much because of actual Emiko herself. Actually, when you think about it, it's more the fact that Laurel just isn't Oliver's Laurel. This is Black Siren, and even though Laurel has been pretty helpful this season, Oliver still has a lack of trust in her, while most of the other, Team Arrow members are pretty sweet with Laurel now. Not maybe 100% trustworthy with her, but they're like, yeah, she can come play on the team if she wants to. But let's actually jump into what we see in the trailer, and it's a pretty basic one, as I was saying before. Not much really going on, but we do get a pretty cool reveal, which made my inner Green Arrow fan just, smile. Is there someone in there that's smiling? If so, we can't see them. Because I thought we might get this at some point in this season, but I wasn't 100% sure. I wasn't putting money out saying, yep, that's definitely going to happen. But we start off the trailer by just seeing regular old Emiko, just dressed in all black, got to blend into the night, I guess. But over the top of this, we do hear Oliver say, Emiko has been hiding certain parts of her past. And you can straight up tell this is Oliver giving her the benefit of the doubt, if not defending her to someone, just by the tone of his voice. I mean, we are in season 7, it's pretty easy to tell what's up from just the tone of Oliver's voice. Now, Diggle does say a line in this trailer. I can understand the second part of it where he says what she's told us, but that first part, that just sounds like gibberish to me. I can't understand it at all, but I'm just going to assume he says, we only know, or something along those lines. I don't know if my ears have failed the city with that certain line, but if you can understand the first part of what Diggle says there, let me know in the comments. But from what I can gather from Diggle's line there, he is like telling the truth. We only know, what Emiko is telling us and what minimal public records there, would be for the character. Because there would be big grey areas in her past that just aren't traceable without connections. So it will be interesting to see how all of that unfolds in this episode. But speaking of Emiko's past, we could possibly be getting flashbacks in this episode. To be upfront, I haven't really been keeping up with any of the potential interviews that are out there with cast or producers around any of the DC TV shows over the past week. So I don't know if there was a preview interview for this episode or not, but certain shots in this trailer sort of make me think that we will be getting flashbacks to what Emiko was doing before, making herself known as this new Green Arrow earlier on this season. The main one that really makes me think this is the shot of Emiko in the Red Arrow suit from the comics, or the show's take on it at least, because why would Emiko go around as this when she's still got Oliver's trust? You know what I mean? So it makes me think that Emiko was doing stuff in Star City or maybe another city dressed as this, and then her mission and what she was doing in this season was just, being the new Green Arrow and sort of getting connected to Oliver and stuff like that. So it'd be weird if this was present day with the Red Arrow suit, but if they want to go that way, then fair enough. Now, if you have read DC Rebirth's early Green Arrow run, I think this is just the first volume. It actually goes on for a couple, but anyway, you will be pretty excited with what it looks like they are doing with Emiko here, which is essentially exactly like the comics. So in that, Emiko basically triple crossed people. It could have been more than triple crossed, but I'm just going to say triple crossed. She was on board with Oliver when we start off, then sided with the villains, and then ended up getting back on board with Oliver. So essentially she was undercover to take down the villains from within. And that looks like what could be going on here. And I say could because there is always a chance that she was just working for them with no intention to expose or destroy them from within. But then she has a change of heart and then plans out the triple crossing. I personally don't think they will change it up too much. We will most likely still see a bit more of Emiko siding with Dante and helping him out in episodes to come. I'd assume we will see more of him or some of him in this episode. But then things will play out a bit more and they could just leave it until maybe episode 21 or even the finale for the season to reveal that Emiko is actually on Team Arrow and Oliver's side in this war. And that's when she goes, Dante, not working for you, mate. But yeah, Emiko's Red Arrow suit looks really cool. I love the arrows. I know it's a weird thing to point out that I love, but I really do. And yeah, just a bit of a weird moment here, but I feel like I have to say it. I just feel an impulse in myself to say, but is it just me, or is Emiko the certified queen waifu of the Arrowverse at the moment? Maybe it's just me, but I find her so attractive. Anyway, let's just move on. This isn't the time or place. Or is it? Is it the time or place? No, it's not. Let's move on. But yeah, ignoring single, desperate, and lonely Paigey, to finish off the trailer, we do hear Laurel saying, "Your sister is not the hero you think she is." And I think this will be early on into the episode in regards to Laurel and Oliver's portion of this episode. From what we have seen, with Oliver and Laurel this season, especially early on and as it's moved on, there is tension, and even when Laurel has proven herself to be on their side, Oliver is sort of the only one to be resistant. You'd have to think that it will change come the end of this episode. It would be nice to see Laurel prove herself finally to Oliver in his eyes at least, and that feistiness can just simmer down and just go away. As I said, the episode after this is a big Laurel episode with both her sister Sarah and also Dinah involved. So I think they at least should move on from from that drama between herself and Oliver. Now we do have the Eden Core stuff happening in the future in 2040. So in the present day, will we find out that Dante is actually responsible for them? Dante's a terrorist. Eden Core is a terrorist organization. They could even make Eden Core the show's take on the Ninth Circle from the comics, or it could just be a factor in all of that. I think that would be an interesting way to go, seeing its impact in the future that we already know of. Eden Core was actually involved in the Flash last season. In the Enter Flash Time episode, that group involved with the nuke were the Eden Core, and their leader, Veronica Dale, has the same last name and is most likely related to the person involved with Eden Core in the future, that being Kevin Dale, I think his name was. I know his last name was Dale, but I think it's Kevin Dale. So I think that would be a pretty cool and smart way to connect everything together, and maybe even name drop an incident in Central City or something like that at some point this season. Dante has been around for a while, so if he is involved with Eden Core, he would have had, a hand in that Central City stuff, so I don't see why they wouldn't go that way. But one question I am interested to hear people answer in the comments is whether you think Dante should continue into next season of Arrow. If Arrow was having a 22 or 23 episode season to finish off, I'd probably say no, do your own villain. But seeing it is only a 10 episode season, 9 if you take out the crossover, I think carrying Dante over with Eden Core possibly would be a better end for the show. And if you know about Eden Core from the comics, that could have a bigger effect on the show than most would think. But that's if they go against like a lot of people's expectations as to how Arrow is going to end. But speaking of Arrow, because we're doing an Arrow trailer breakdown, why did I even attempt that segue? Anyway, Arrow will be on break after this episode. So I think it comes back middle of April. I just know it's on break. Legends will replace Arrow in its time slot. And when Arrow comes back, I think it's after Legends. So Arrow will be moving an hour later. And then it's on break for like 3 weeks, I think it is. So we should get an exact date in next week's trailer if they release one, hopefully. But I think it's like April 15th, I think it comes back. But I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's the date it does come back. If it's not the 15th, then it's the 22nd, but I'm pretty sure it's the 15th. But thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on this episode. What you're looking forward to the most. Were you creeped out by my Emiko or Emiko queen basically asking her out? If she sees the video, please let me know. But yeah, let me know all of your opinions down there. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.